All right, we're back. Hey, of course, still celebrating, right? You see the
Yeah, I
what's
mean,
up?
I mean, I told people I'm going to be an asshole all summer, so I'm gonna live up to it. So every week, man, expect it every week.
Straight out of Philadelphia. So yeah, that's right. Well, you know what we got to do, right? So, and it's not. I wouldn't call it being an asshole. I would just say we're just reminding people of facts, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, like don't let the Olympics force you to forget. Don't let Russia investigations, don't let any of this stuff that people are trying to put in the front of the news make you forget that Nick Foles destroyed Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the Patriot dynasty. All right.
exactly, exactly.
But anyway, before we get rolling, hit that subscribe button. Okay. I need everybody hit subscribe. Okay. Hit subscribe. And you know what? After you subscribe to our show, take a snapshot of it, screenshot of it, and tweet it to us. All right, at Kane_Ice, or send it to us on Facebook, and you'll be entered to win a prize. And it's gonna be a good prize. Okay, it's gonna be a Visa gift card. I'll go ahead and put it out there, and that's gonna be the grand prize. There'll be a couple minor prizes like T-shirts, that kind of thing. So you got lots of chances to win. So please click that subscribe button, take a screenshot of it, and either send it to us on Facebook or on Twitter. Kane and Ice Show on Facebook, Kane_Ice on Twitter. All right. So
Yeah.
anyway, let's jump into it. First subject, Eagles free agency, right? So of course we've been building up the Eagle fan base, so we got to give you what you want because that's what we do, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
We keep you flying. We keep edifying you with information. You know what I mean? So free agency, obviously, coming up. You hear a lot of rumors, a lot of things going around. I know as far as the guys, the Eagles, of course, are projected to be up against the cap, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think I want to say we're is it 4 or 9 million over right now
yeah,
currently.
right. Which isn't a whole lot, right? That'd be pretty easy to solve. And I think Blunt, he was on a 1 year deal, right? And I think Chris Long was
Blunt
what?
was on a 1 year deal. Chris Long's on a 1 year deal. Patrick Robinson, I think, was on a 1 year deal. Branham is going to be a free agent. So yeah, I mean, by the time those players get gone, yeah, that cap money, that's done. That's over with.
Right. And then you got things like, Sproul's going to come back. I've seen him training, so it looks like he is coming back based on the videos of him I've seen. Um,
So who do you think the Eagles bring back after the initial cuts are done? Because it's going to be tough this year. I don't expect us to be real active in free agency as it compared to last year. Really, we're going to go after I'd say the veteran free agents with the minimum contracts to
mm-hmm.
fill and plug depth spots. That's what we're going to do because the core of the team is still there. We just need to fill those depth spots like we did last year with Patrick Robertson and LeGarrette Blunt and Chris Long. These guys took 1 year minimum deal pretty much to come to Philadelphia and just plug a hole
Right.
and move on. So who do you think is definitely back for us back next
It's hard to say because I'm sure with Blunt, especially being a running back, they're not going to offer him right away, or they're at least not going to make him a good offer right away, right? Any offer they give him is going to be very low initially. And so, if some team jumps out there and wants
year?
to,
Yeah, he'll definitely be slow, especially with the emergence of Jay Ajayi and Clement.
right,
So we're not in a pinch to get a running back. He's made it clear that he's unsure, but he'd love to come back to Philadelphia. And if it is, it'll probably be another 1 year deal minimum for about the same thing he
right,
did this year, if he does come back.
right. So I could see him shopping around, and then if the market dries up, saying, okay, you know what, come back to Philly.
Yeah.
I could see them going a little harder to keep Long. I mean, not long term, but maybe a year or two, because I think just the leadership, and you can never have too many pass rushers, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's back personally. I read an article that Benny Logan, ex Philadelphia
Yeah.
Eagle, took a 1-year deal on his last year when he left us. Didn't pan out for him. He didn't, didn't
He
have
went
the
to
year he thought he was going to
Dallas.
have.
Did he go to Dallas?
Thought it was Kansas City.
Kansas City. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, he didn't have the year he thought he was going to have. So now he's going to be a free agent again. Another 1-year deal. Do you bring him in? Do you bring Chris Long? I think Derek Barnett's ready to step into a starting role now. So that'll put Vinny as our second string guy coming off the corner. So can you? Yeah, you're right. You can never have enough edge rushers.
Right. Kansas City.
But I don't think Chris Long is back. I think he's going to be gone next year. The leadership, the veteran presence, and he did make some big plays along the way. I mean, let's not forget that.
Right.
So, but I don't think Long's back next year.
So if Curry goes to the bench, do you cut Curry to get under the cap, because he makes a lot of money?
No, you don't cut him. I mean, like you said, you want that depth, you want that experience, you want those guys that have been there.
But he's making a lot of money.
Yeah. But I'm saying, if you want to get under the cap, Blunt's gone, Sproles is gone, and here's another one that nobody's, we haven't got to yet. Torrey Smith. Torrey Smith is $7 million by his damn self.
Yeah.
So you cut him, which will probably that's gonna happen.
And Hollins was starting to get some of his snaps anyway.
Yeah. And I just don't think we got what we expected out of Smith. I mean,
well, here's a big one: is what do the Eagles do with Peters? Do you try to bring him back at a discount? Do you, what do you,
he's back. I don't know if he takes a discount or not, but he's definitely back next year. As great as Big V played, I can't saying no to Jason Peters after what he's done for the city of Philadelphia, this team, what he's meant to the team.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely back next year. He's starting. That'll reshuffle the line. I'm sure to put Big V back on the bench. And probably the following year, I want to say Peters has got 1 or 2 years left.
Okay.
And then, he's probably going to retire then. Then you step Big V in if he's still around, or, try to keep him around till then he steps in. Or you flip-flop him and Lane Johnson and put Lane at left tackle and to put Big V at the right. But either way, I think Peters is back next year, man.
All right.
What about? I was looking at this one. What do you think about Nigel Bradham? Now they're saying they definitely want to bring him back,
right?
But it's a numbers game right now as far as the cap money. Where do you think he falls as far as pay? I mean, when Jordan Hicks got hurt, Bradham became our best linebacker. Okay,
and Hicks is a little injury prone, right?
Yeah, exactly. See, Hicks is going to be on last year, his rookie deal next year, and we're going to have to make the decision: are we going to extend him, or are we going to let him go? He's all world when he's in the game. I mean, to me, he's one of the top 5 to 7 middle linebackers in the league when he's healthy.
Oh yeah,
but
he makes plays, right?
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think he's played a complete season his first 3 years in the league. So it's hard to say where he's going to be, but I know the Eagles want to re-sign Bradham. What do you think are some numbers close to where we can get him back and stay where we need to under the cap?
Yeah, that's a hard one, because to your point, right, can't give him too much because already over the cap, unless you're going to make some hard choices with guys like Peters,
Torrey Smith, man, I'm telling you, that's
Torrey Smith, but then you got to save some money signing rookies.
Now, we got 1 first-round pick and nobody else to the 4th. So,
right. and also right with what's the dude, Sidney, the cornerback they drafted,
Sidney Jones.
So if he, if you feel good about his development, then you could get rid of some of them older guys at corner, right, and save some money that way.
Well,
right?
They already said, Green Goblin and Jalen Watkins is going to, go free agency, that the Eagles aren't going to re-sign him. So that tells me two of things: that Sidney Jones is ready, and they think Rasul Douglas is going to be a player as well. Because why would you get rid of somebody? And Jalen was a fourth, fifth, sixth round pick. Right. So he's not going to demand a whole lot of money, but the Eagles not re-signing him tells me that they are solid with Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas and Ronald Darby being our primary corners for the next couple of years.
Good point. All right. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously you just won the Super Bowl and you had a lot of guys injured who are coming back next year and, hopefully they can get back to their original form. So it's hard to say.
Do you think Sproles makes it back? I think Blunt will go free agency. Not sure if he'll be back, but do you think Darren Sproles will be back?
I think so. Because I think because I think this 2017 was going to be his last season, if I remember correctly. And I guess because of injury, he decided to play another year. So I can't imagine that he would want to go to another team. Plus, with Doug Peterson, it just seems like a guy like that, you would, as an offensive guy, offense coordinator, and we see how creative he tries to get, it seems like Sproles would be a dude you would love to have. And before he got hurt, he was carrying the ball like they were making him almost primary ball carrier over Blunt, right? So, plus he has an impact on special teams. So I think he'll be back. And I think just out of a level of respect for him.
At a reduced rate?
Probably so. But like I said, I saw him I saw a couple of training videos with him this past weekend. Like, yeah, he's doing like some crazy stuff, especially when you consider his age. Like, yeah, he looks ready. He looks ready. I'll say that. Yeah, so everybody Google Darren Sproles is not human, and you'll see some videos like, oh wow, okay, yeah, we need this dude back. And this is just like him training back from his injury kind of stuff. Like, we've all seen what he's done on the field over the years. All right, so let's shift gears. NBA All-Star game we just had. Of course, new format, Team Steph, Team LeBron. They're drafting All-Stars. Of course, you didn't get to find out who was drafted where, but next year I think we will. So what did you think about it, man? Was it more entertaining, less entertaining?
I think it made for some interesting picks, with LeBron selecting KD, Kyrie,
yeah.
And then he did selecting Westbrook as well to be on that team. So that was a pretty interesting team. I do like the draft. I wish they, like you said, I wish it would have been a public draft, or they would have, put it at halftime of one of the games, and so you could actually see who picked who at what pick. That would have been pretty interesting to see. But I did like the format. The game was a lot more competitive. I think it was more competitive this year. Towards the third and the fourth quarter. The first quarter was typical NBA All-Star stuff. It was either a three-pointer or a dunk. That's typical. But, I was impressed with the last 6 or 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. They really locked down on defense, and you could tell they really wanted it.
Right. Yeah, and, it took me a little while to adjust to thinking conferences, this guy plays the Sixers, this guy, took me a little while to adjust. And, but, just overall, it's pretty entertaining.
If you got the East versus the West, trust me, it's going to be a wash right now. Nobody wants to watch that. So,
and that's a great point.
You have to do it this way to keep some interest going. But it was a nice refreshing. I don't think it's a permanent thing. I think they just tried it out this year. So we'll see if they bring it back, and if they do, what they'll change to it. Like I said, I want to watch the draft happen. It can't take more than 30 minutes for them to pick the team. Jesus Christ. Let's put this on TV and have something interesting to watch during the halftime.
Well, I'm sure the plan was, hey, let's do this year. We're not going to show the draft. So everybody will clamor for it, and then we can get some TV channel to pay us a ton of money for the draft, right? Like, so that's what's going to happen. It'll be on TNT or ESPN next year, and it'll be a big production, and they'll get $3 million or more for it. Now, I will say this. Adam Silver or anybody connected with NBA and All-Star game. Of course, next year you're going to be in Charlotte. Woo, where I live. I have a much better singer lined up, okay? We will get Elsa to sing the national anthem for half of what you paid Fergie, and it'll be 3 times as good, okay? I can promise you that. All right.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Little remix there, a little spin she put on it.
And we do need 2 comp tickets to come with Elsa's performance, but we'll talk about that later, Adam. So hit me up.
Front row, Adam.
Yeah,
Mr. Silver, front row, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and players will not be laughing during the anthem.
Yeah.
This.
I want to sit next to Rihanna. So. Just
right. Yeah, I want to sit next to Kevin Hart so I can look tall. Anyway. All right, so another interesting NBA thing, possible reseeding. Adam Silver's throwing it out there, and full transparency. I've heard Jalen Rose on his podcast talk about this over the last at least year, maybe even longer. The possibility, and he was saying that eventually it'll happen, where you have 1 through 16 making the playoffs regardless of conference, and it'll be seeded based on record. So now Silver's put it out there, and we know he doesn't mind putting things out there and trying to be progressive, right? He's put gambling out there on the NBA. He wants that to be a thing. He wants to get 1% of all the money. The way he took care of the Donald Sterling situation, he definitely tries to get ahead of things and push the envelope. So I really think they've probably been talking about this for months before he made a public statement. I think it'd be interesting, to be honest with you, because I know it would involve more travel, but at the same time, travel, they're traveling.
Travel is nothing.
Right.
I mean,
they have private planes.
I think I saw somewhere. Yeah, I think I saw somewhere now that if they did seed them that way this year, the only way the Rockets and Golden State would meet would be in the finals, because they are the 2 overall, number 1 and number 2.
Right.
Then I heard LeBron say, we should keep it like it is. LeBron just wants to keep it like it is because he knows he can go to the finals in the East.
Right.
And if we reseed
keep his streak going, right?
If we reseed this 1 through 16, he's going to be a 4. Yeah, he's going to be a 4 or 5 seed, and he's going to have to work to get to the finals then. So I can see his point. I can see fans' point, but it'll balance back out after a few years. The West it'll balance that back out at some point. Just leave it alone like it is. My personal opinion, just leave it like it is, because I want a Western Conference champion. I want an Eastern Conference champion. And some people say, okay, yeah, you're sticking to tradition. That's how it's always been. That's how you want it. Yeah, but to me, it makes sense to have a conference champion, and the 2 conference champions meet up for the championship.
I'd say this. Since we've had 3 years in a row of the same matchup, if we get the 4, then we got to reseed or something. Like, if nothing else, just to change it up. You know what I mean? And then if you happen to get the same 2 teams again, then hey, it's just meant to be or whatever. But
I mean, that's the only reason they want to do it now, is because we're getting the same teams for 3 years, and could be 4 years in a row. But how often is this really going to happen? Well, it could happen a lot more because of the way the NBA is going now towards these super teams, where only 4 or 5 teams actually have a chance of winning the championship.
Yeah. And also I get the point that by doing this, you could have 2 teams that are relatively close to each other playing for the championship. And, for TV purposes and all that, right, you want, I guess, as much of the country engaged as possible, right? So if you had, I don't know, Miami and Orlando got to the finals, right? And so the rest of the country isn't really engaged other than Florida. But in baseball and football, these type of situations happen because you have the American League and the National League. So the two people playing championship aren't based on anything geographical, right? Like, there have been times the Royals have played the Cardinals, right, in the World Series, and NFL, the Giants have played the Bills. So, I say all that to say other sports have had the same issue, and that really hadn't been a deterrent. So
yeah,
I think if you could see the best two teams on the biggest stage, sign me up.
Yeah. But you can't guarantee that in the 16th seed. If that was the case, we'd have, 4 number ones playing in March Madness every year in the Final Four. But we know that's not going to happen. Well, it's kind of different with NBA because you have series, I guess, instead of a one game. Anything can happen. But in the NBA series, generally the better team wins the series. Generally, I'd probably say it's probably 8 out of 10 times the better team usually wins the series. So it's hard for me to justify changing it. Like you were saying, the NFL, hell, the Buffalo Bills went 4 years in a row. Nobody said anything about, oh, we're getting tired of the Buffalo Bills going. Nobody else is going.
That's a good point.
It's ebbs and flows. It'll change after a while. Golden State's going to have to break up this team pretty soon in the next 2-3 years, so it's going to be over. LeBron's talking about moving to a different team. It'll change. Just leave it like.
LeBron at some point has to drop off, right? Like, unless he has like Tom Brady's doctor or something.
Yeah, I guess he's eating that avocado ice cream or something. I don't know what he's doing.
All right, so you know what? Let's let the viewers give their opinion. So leave a comment and tell us whether or not you think the NBA should change to a new playoff seeding or keep the current Western Conference versus Eastern Conference format. All right. And hit us up. Let us know what you think. And also hit subscribe. Give us that thumbs up. All right. We need those thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't like the show. But of course you like the show. So give a thumbs up. Now, all right. This is, what America and Canada, See, I got you, Rory. This is what they tune in for, right? Some strange news. All right. So, Kane, brother, what you got for me this week?
Got nothing for you, my man. You're the strange news expert. I don't know where you find this stuff. I find some stuff every once in a while, but you find totally stuff that's don't even stick to the wall. Not off the wall. They don't even stick to the wall.
Yeah. See, all right. That's because you live in Florida and everything is so strange. Stuff, you see strange stuff. It doesn't seem strange to you, but
could be.
So I read about, and this may be over by now, but basically there's some sort of contest called Last Man. And these guys, a group of people get together and purposely attempt to avoid finding out who won the Super Bowl. And they see who can go the longest without knowing who won the Super Bowl. So they have to plan in advance to not have their phone on or to turn off notifications and all this stuff. And so when I was reading this a few days ago, this was still going. So there was still 8 people alive in this contest. I don't know how many started, but there were still 8 people alive who I hope by now know that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, okay? So I would love to be the person that calls these guys. So if anybody can find their names and numbers, because I want as many people as possible to know that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, I would love to be the person to tell these idiots, okay?
You think about that, that's virtually impossible to do in today's times. Even if you didn't watch the game, even if you turned off your cell phone, you will walk somewhere just talking to a friend or coworker, and they would bring it up.
Right.
Yeah. Think about this. The Super Bowl, not only is it all over ESPN, all over the NFL Network, it's on ABC, NBC, and CBS at 6:30 on the World News, man. Mm-hmm. So it's virtually impossible to ignore. It's on the newspaper, the internet. People are talking about it. It's on every channel. How can you avoid that, man?
Right. Even if you're watching something that's not sports related, you're likely to see that Sports Illustrated commercial. The Eagles have won the Super Bowl. You know,
Yeah.
get your commemorative jacket. You know, and football with a subscription. You know, or whatever.
I mean, I know, we're Eagle fans, so, you know, people talk to me about it right after the game the next day. You know, congratulations. I know the Eagles won. You're Eagles fan. But I've literally been around people that don't know me. Hey, how about that game? You know, just striking up conversation. How in the world, who in the world doesn't know the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
Right. And that's a good point.
First of all, I'm kind of offended that you're keeping this a secret from yourself. Because this was the greatest daggum thing that ever happened to the NFL. Okay? So don't sell yourself short.
Right. That's funny.
That's crazy.
But
That's
when
what
you
it
think, you're right. I mean, you basically, because by doing that, that means you're cutting yourself off from email or whatever. Like, you basically are shutting down your personal productivity to win some kind of odd contest to be the last person.
Hey, it better be a damn good prize. That's all I got to say.
Well, I need to find out if these people are still who's still alive in this contest and how can I contact them. But anyway, we appreciate everybody tuning in. This week we're gonna have a special show for you. We're gonna be talking about the amazing movie Black Panther. So make sure you stay tuned for that, okay? And keep a lookout on this channel. Subscribe so you'll get that update when the show comes out. And you'll know when we have our Black Panther special, and you can watch that and give it lots of thumbs up and send it to all your friends and all that good stuff. But you can do the same thing with this show too. So Kane, man, what do you want to leave the people with, brother?
Hey, man, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Now, you know, I'm going to end every show with that pretty much. The Eagles
That's
won
right.
the Super Bowl.
Hey, ain't nothing else to say. That's right.
I'm gonna be obnoxious the whole daggum summer. What? Not the whole summer. Until we're eliminated next year in the playoffs, I'm gonna talk junk. Okay? We are the champs. You are not.
Right.
Shango, that goes especially for you. Because I know you love it, dog. I know you love it.
If he doesn't, as Ric Flair would say, you better learn to love him. You know, Nick Foles' shoes cost more than your house. But anyway, well, not Shango's house. But anyway,
Nick Foles got them gators.
All right, we're going to holler at y'all later. Leave us some comments. Hit us up on Twitter. Interact with us on Facebook and Twitter. Send us some memes. We're going to start featuring those again. We're just going to start doing a lot more interactive stuff. So hit us up and be part of the show, all right? So, hey, y'all have a great week. Like I said, look out for that Black Panther show, okay?